Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my weekly photo chats. So today I want to talk about don't think, just jump. If you see a photograph and you start to think about it, whether I should get up and get it, whether I should do it, well, should I go? Don't think, just get it. I was in a bar in Youngstown, Ohio, an outdoor patio. There was a singer-songwriter playing some music, and there was a very large man wearing a big t-shirt that said, "I'm hard to kidnap." And it was a funny shirt. And I wanted to make a photograph. So I walked up and I took it with a 28 millimeter lens. I literally walked up right in front of him, took a picture, and then walked back to my seat and sat down. And in the final photograph, which I'll put in the show links, he's not looking at the camera, but the two people right in front of him are, and the gentleman behind him isn't. And if anybody had said anything, I'm like, oh, I just love this shirt. I love it. And nobody ever asked. And the point is, you can overthink things and you can get to the point where you're not making the photograph because you're thinking maybe you shouldn't, and you talk yourself out of it. Don't think, just shoot. If you see something on the side of a road and you think, well, should I get up and should I shoot that? Should I pull over? Should I turn around? Yes. All those things. Yes. Stop. Pull over, turn around if you missed it. But don't wait 10 minutes to turn around, because now you've got to go back 10 minutes and you know you're never going to do it. If you don't stop in the first 10 seconds, you're never going to. So stop in the 10 seconds and go back. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't look like anything, and so you're back on the road. You're back on your way. But we have to not think and just jump for those photo opportunities. Because photo opportunities are the kinds of things that happen all the time, and we also have to be ready. And another example of ready is if I'm driving along, this camera is always on my front seat with the exposure set at 4,000 of a second, f8, ISO 800, set to infinity, which I know on a 28 millimeter, which this is not, this is a 50, but on a 28 millimeter, that lens will focus everything from 6 feet to infinity, guaranteed, tack sharp, because of 4,000ths of a second will stop it. Because I'm in motion in a car usually. And because that camera is turned on and ready to go, I'm ready to go. And I see people who have cameras walking in the city and they have the lens cap on, or they put it in a little case. If you see a moment, you don't have time to get the case out, pull the cap off. It's gone. Photographers need to be instant. We need to be quick. We need to be able to be ready, and we can't overthink things. If you see a photo you want to get, just get up and get it. Don't think, just jump. Because you'll be glad that you can always say it didn't work out. Somebody has an issue, you can always talk to them, you can always delete it, whatever. The point is, you have to get up and make the photograph. And this photo of this guy, I think is funny. But it's only made because I'm sitting at my table going, I'm going to need to cross the back patio, go stand in front of him, take a picture, and go sit down. But I did, and now the photo exists. And I didn't think too much because I could have talked myself out of it. This is a little bit of a rough crowd, or these guys don't look like they like photographers, or nobody asked, why should you be taking my picture? So don't ask, don't think. I've often used the approach with photography, it's better to ask for forgiveness than for permission. Because if you ask for permission, people will start to wonder and question. It gets too complicated. Don't think, just shoot. You can make wonderful photographs in places that you would miss if you weren't ready or you didn't go back. You didn't stop. We have to stop. Go make those photographs. They're out there. Those opportunities are all around. And the more your camera is on and ready to go, the more you'll see them. It's when you're not ready, you're not even looking anymore. But when this is in your hand, your consciousness is told, oh, I better go keep an eye out. I'll look around. And you find more things. There's a photograph in my street gallery from New York. It was of the boy who was showboating, which you may have seen in a previous episode in that gallery. It's a family picture. One boy shooting the family, and one boy standing there very plain, and the other boy is, completely giving jazz hands and love in New York. I watched that whole thing happen. That whole thing happened right in front of me. I was walking through New York with only the goal of making photographs, stopping off at the Howard Greenberg Gallery and all that. But the goal was to really just make photographs. I had nowhere to be. I was just there to photograph. And I got 25,000 steps in that day. And while I was working, that happened right in front of me. I watched the whole thing. I wasn't looking for that in the edit and saying, hey, look, there's something surprising with that one boy. I watched it happen. I knew it was going to be a worthwhile photograph because I saw the whole thing happen. But if the camera was in a case, if I had the lens cap on, I'm missing it. So everything comes down to we have to be ready. We can't overthink. We can't stop ourselves. Just don't think, jump. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, hit the Patreon. Thanks so much to all my supporters. You guys are wonderful, and I will be back next week. We'll talk more photography. As always, here's to good light.